Most people don't have a bad cruise. They just don't know how to cruise right. So, saving pool chairs, are you playing the game right or are you already losing? So, Carnival Cruise Line just said that they're going to start enforcing time limits on save chairs 45 minutes. So, that means that you can't just drop a towel at 7 a.m. and then disappear for a few hours, come back like nothing happened, expect your chair to be there, that they're going to come around and remove your property.
And not just like ship towels. If you got your stuff on there, they're gonna take your stuff off too.
Right, and it's interesting what people leave. Flip-flops are very popular, and I always wonder, like, do you just have one flip-flop? Like, you lost that other flip-flop somewhere on a trip, and now you just carry this one around as, like, a
Oh,
piece
I
of
never thought
a
about that,
tool,
yeah.
like a spare flip. Because if you
And it's an
left
old flip-flop, yeah.
because that's my thought, right? If you leave your own personal property out there, so you leave a flip-flop and they remove it, and then you can't find it, now you're left with just one flip-flop,
Does
and
that mean they're walking around
and
with
we're right
one
back
flip-flop?
again. So is that how they wound up with one flip-flop to begin with?
Mm.
That saved a chair, it got taken, they couldn't find it, now they're down to 1, they're doing it in. And look, we've all seen it. Rows of
We've done
chairs
it.
clear well, let's clarify that in a minute here, but, we see rows of chairs claimed, and I mean, this used to be a giant peeve on Southwest, people saving loads of seats, and there's nobody there, and while else is walking around trying to find an open spot, nothing's there. You just see a bunch of chairs with towels or flip-flops on them. So
I don't like it when they save seats and they leave, like, 1 in here or 1 there. I
oh,
mean,
like, yeah, they leave, like, one in between, and then there's a
yeah.
bunch of other safe. Now, people are gonna hear this, they're gonna be in 2 camps. They're gonna be in the, "Good, they finally fixed it." And then there's the camp that says, "Great, now I've gotta fight for chairs on my vacation as well." But here's what nobody really says out loud. The game was never about saving chairs. The game is controlling your experience, so you actually get to enjoy them, because there's a difference between holding a chair and abandoning a chair.
Mhm.
And that line is where I think most everybody has a problem, but we just don't understand what the line is. And that's what frustrates people. I don't think anybody minds that a chair is saved, that you've walked away from it. I don't think anybody really expects people, well, once you're sitting in that chair, you're there for the whole day. And if
Yeah.
you leave it for 5 minutes, it's fair game. Like, we get it. Like, you got to go to the restroom. Even if you go to lunch for a second, or, a little bit of time.
I don't see how they're gonna do it, honestly. I mean, they have no way of knowing if you've just gone to get food. They have no way of knowing if you're actually in the hot tub, in the pool. I mean, they say 45 minutes, but are they gonna keep a stopwatch for every empty chair? And then what if this one's been 10 minutes, this one's been 50 minutes? I
Yeah.
just don't see how I think it's something they say to maybe get control, but I don't see how they're gonna do it.
Well, I think they will do it. I think stuff will get removed. And I think they're going to, because I think the people that are around the pool, you're talking about bartenders,
I think
servers,
it's gonna come down to people complaining.
it's always people complaining,
Yeah.
right? And we've seen other things where rules have been passed and it's enforceable by people complaining. But I think the people who work around there, the people who are pushing the water off all the time, the servers, they have a better idea of who's who than I think most people might think. I mean, when you work in an environment all day, you pick up things, you notice things for different reasons. So I think they are going to notice if they haven't seen anybody in the chair for half the morning.
What if I'm in the pool?
They're gonna have served you. And, I think there's gonna be an opportunity where they're gonna say, "Whereabouts are you sitting?" Like, you might even have told them unintentionally, like, "Oh, I need to have your card." "Oh, it's in my chair." We've done that before, right? Our
Yeah.
card's been in our chair, and they've gone over and gotten it, and then they've brought us it, and then they put the card back, like, under towels or something. They know. Now, there's gonna be an exception, but I think they're gonna enforce. I think they're
So
gonna
you
enforce it
think they're
some.
gonna enforce it. I think it's just more of a, we're gonna say it and try
I
and scare people into saving
I think
chairs at
it's scare
7
tactic.
AM.
Every rule first is a scare tactic.
Mhm.
You're gonna eliminate a certain number of people simply because they're rule followers. Then you're gonna, have what's left are people who just aren't gonna follow the rules and they're gonna wanna do what they want, and that's a smaller percentage. And then you have an even smaller percentage who's gonna fall between the cracks. The person who does put their towel, a book on a chair, and then they go and they have sat in the pool for the last 4 hours getting all their drinks, and they haven't gone anywhere near that chair, which brings to question, do you need the chair?
Well, they need somewhere to put their stuff.
Okay, but there are other areas you could set it along the side of the pool. Maybe they need to come up with some other little like cubbies along the side of the pool where you put your stuff before you're ready to lounge out.
Mhm.
Maybe we haven't gotten there yet, but maybe we do. There's always going to be a low number of chairs around a pool than there are people. It's just always going to be a fact. It's going to be even more so on sea days because you
Mhm.
have nobody getting off. Now, there are other things that people are going to do. The full ship is never at the pool. But there are enough that there's never enough chairs, so there's just not enough room, and if they put it you gotta think about this, if they put in more chairs, the pools get even smaller, and I
Yeah.
think in many respects, they're already too small, and, so it just takes up more space. So if you want to actually win this, here's how people who know what they're doing and how we've done it. First, you go early, but not to claim it for the whole day. You're not just setting up home base. Second, you follow a simple rule. Call it the 30 or 60-minute rule. Cardinals calling it the 45-minute rule. And if you're going to be gone longer than that rule, then you have to consider mentally that chair isn't yours anymore. That when you come back, you can expect it to be gone. And I think we've done that. Third, you don't save chairs you're not actively using. Now, this one's a little bit of a tough one, right? Especially, we'll talk about our situation where you're maybe saving for a group of people. They're not all going to come down at the same time. But again, I think you have to put the rule in mind. Is this person going to be here in that rule time, 30, 60, 45 minutes, whatever it is? If your group is still in the room, then they shouldn't be reserved a chair if they're not coming down at any particular time. And again, I get it. That's a tough one. And here's the big one. You plan your day around the chair, not the other way around. If you're heading to breakfast or a show or something longer, you either go early and come back, or you accept that you're starting over later. And that's the trade off. That's the game. And so this is the way we did it. You referenced that we save chairs, and that's true. When we're in Puerto Vallarta, there's a couple of us that go down early and we reserve the chairs for everybody about 7 a.m. But we're going to be back within 45 minutes. I come back, we get up, we go to breakfast. We come back, grab our stuff, head down to the chairs. And that's within 45 minutes to an hour almost every time, right? Where
Yeah.
it's not out there the whole time. And when we were there last time, we went to Sam's Club to get
Mhm.
some wine. On the way back, we stopped at another hotel and went out to their pool area, their bar, had a nice drink there. And we were probably gone like in 2 hours, right? We didn't have chairs waiting on us. We found some chairs that were available. We sat down and we did our thing. And I think that's the difference. You can't plan out your whole day. Oh, we're gonna save some pool chairs. Then we're gonna go out on a port day and we're gonna go out and see the town. And we're gonna go on an excursion. And we're gonna come back and then we're gonna start enjoying the pool.
Now that I agree with. That would be excessive. I'm just not sure how they're going to keep track if you save a chair and then you go back to the room, you get ready for the day, you go to breakfast, you come back, you go to the pool. I mean, I'm just not sure how they're going to keep up.
Well, as in most rules, there aren't any probably firm mechanisms to make it happen. There's going to be a lot of
Mm,
relying on the people. Like, let's talk about breakfast. So let's say you save a chair and you go to breakfast and you come back an hour and a half later on a cruise ship. So it's now maybe 9:30 in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. Is your chair going to be there? Probably. Why? Because most people aren't out yet, right?
yeah.
I think it's going to start getting noticed more when people start searching. And like you said, complaining. Now they're going to start scoping out. Okay, oh, there's a flip flop. Have I seen that flip flop? I do remember passing that flip flop since early morning. No one's come. Gonna pull that one. Then they start enforcing it. There isn't really a reason to enforce the rule if there's only 15 people on the pool deck
Right.
and there's 100 chairs. When there's 200 people in 100 chairs, now it's time to start moving the flip flops that you've noticed have been there all day and you don't know who they belong to.
What about the people that multiple people in the group? They save 6 chairs, 1 for everybody. 5 of them leave and go do their own thing. 1 person stays to keep all the chairs.
Yeah, like a certain winery we know. Yes, I
Yes.
knew what you were thinking about.
Where does that fall?
Well, these people fall into the group of people who aren't gonna follow the rules, right? They're purposely trying to flaunt the rules. They may even, as in the winery you're referring to, be passing it off to another group of 5, and they're just the holdover, the
Mhm.
place savers. So, now it's gonna be up to the cruise line to say, "How much do we care to enforce this? How many people are angry, and who are we more worried about angering more? This one person who's holding all these chairs, or the 5 or 6 people who wanna sit at them?" And I don't know, it's gonna be a judgment call, and I don't know how it's gonna go. And it's gonna be up to the cruise management, the white shirts, to determine who that is.
We don't do Carnival very much, but I'm curious to find out how this plays out.
They might be wrong,
Mm.
and we may very well see that they reverse this, but this isn't new, right? It's not new to Carnival, it's not new to any cruise
No.
line, it's not
Or
new to
hotel.
a hotel, a resort, I don't care. If you are a building in which people stay or a ship in which people stay, and you have a pool and there are pool chairs, you've got this problem. It's just universal. But here's the other part of it. People are like I paid this much money for a cruise. Therefore, I want all these things. And I get part of that, but I also get that there are 1,000 other people minimum on the ship who also did that. And so there's got to be a little give and take. There's got to be a little bit like I'm going to be on the excursion today, so no saving of a chair for me today. We'll just get what's left. Hopefully, people we come back at 4 o'clock, they'll be going to dinner. 4 or 5 o'clock when a lot of people are heading off. You especially Royal and places like that with kids, they take longer to get prepared for dinner, so there's a point where they're gonna leave. So again, planning your day, not to say, "Hey, you know what? Let's sit at the pool at 4 o'clock tonight." You know what? That's a great time too, especially on a port day because 'cause you're leaving and you're able to see that scenery move while you're relaxing on the hot tub or you're sitting on the edge of the pool with a drink. Great time. Anytime I think that you can go to those areas where it's less crowded is a bonus time. And
Right.
and this is what most people miss when they book a cruise. They focus on the ship, the price, the itinerary, and not about how their day is actually going to feel, because the difference between a relaxing day and a frustrating one is usually the stuff like this no one explains to them ahead of time, which is where your travel advisor can really come in and kind of help you out with understanding a couple of things. What is it you're expecting from the ship? Making sure the ship matches your expectations. Not every
Mhm.
ship's the same. So getting this kind of planning out ahead of time is important. So be honest, if you're going to be gone for more than an hour, is it still your chair or is it just a towel? Drop your answer below. And if you want more on the stuff that actually makes your vacation easier before you even get there, hit follow, because most people don't have a bad trip. They just don't know how to travel yet. Stay wonder worthy.